Welcome back, everybody, to round 5 of coverage of the Common Ground Cup. I'm Thomas Gunn, joined by the one, the only James Hippo Hieronimus. How are we doing?
Wonderful.
Excellent. And we have quite the matchup. We have Table 1 brought to you here today. These are our only undefeated player, and technically we have two other players who are technically undefeated, though they do have a draw.
Yes.
We have two players at 3-0-1 and one player at 4-0. Our player at 4-0 is our feature match from round 1, Austin Walker, on the Black-White Blade deck. And playing against them, who just won their match at Table 2.
We have Aaron Wub Cunningham.
Exactly. So Wub is playing this blue-red terror list, which we saw a version of that on camera from Devin Northcutt earlier today. Any notable differences here? It looks fairly similar.
Okay, so Devin's playing a couple extra cards that Wub is not. For example, I know Devin was playing copies of the draw 2 card from Kaldheim.
Behold the Multiverse.
Yes, cool. But yeah, there's not a ton of difference though.
Excellent.
Beautiful. We got our beautiful players.
They're ready to go. Yeah, it looks like there's an extra breath weapon here.
Yeah.
Still, we got the lose focus. We have a couple dispels in the main. We have a cast in the fire in the main deck.
Yeah, more tight list. There's less variants and cards going on Wub's list than versus Devin's. But yeah,
for sure. And as a little reminder, Austin's list, this Black-White Blade list, he's rocking these couple of stabs in the main deck that are kind of unique to his list. Except it turns out the other Black-White Blade list is playing the exact 75 that Austin is playing.
Wow.
Except for disfigures instead of stabs. Yeah.
Also,
before we get too far into this round, we're going to pop back into the booth. We want to show off this trophy that these players are playing for this weekend. This is the very first Common Ground Cup. We got this specially made for the event.
That's right.
And our first prize winner will be walking away with this trophy. We'll present it to them in the interview.
That's right.
Later on. So thank you, Kyle. And yeah, so our players will get started shortly here. Looks like
there's a mulligan on Austin's side.
There might be another mulligan here for Wub. So what do you expect here from this matchup?
I expect this to go in Austin's favor quite a lot because of the Tithing Blade cast down interaction.
Sure.
Wub's, the creature suite here is like the Tolarian Terrors, the Augur Boluses, and the couple of copies of Murmuring Mystic. So there's not a ton of pressure that you're able to put on post being like just getting edicted away with the Tithing Blades, and having that interaction between those two is really, really potent. And that is actually a reason like this deck, like the Tithing Blade really put a knock in the, like when it initially came out, put a knock in the terror decks being played.
For sure. So it looks like we are resolving. Looks like Wub has mulligan to 5. Just choosing which of their 2 cards to put back. You're like, this one, not that one. Nope, this one. There's a breath weapon. We got a Lorien revealed. I'm trying to not be too loud, though. I keep thinking I'm being too loud on coverage, and I go out there, you can't hear anything.
Nope. We can hear them more than they can hear us.
Exactly, which is wild.
Esper Cunningham.
Yes, Esper Cunningham. Cool name. Maybe we should start calling them Esper.
That would be very funny.
Do you want to explain the lore of
Wub's
so
many years ago, for a GP, Wub and I were traveling to a friend of ours had to register Wub for the event, and as a joke, at the time Wub had their hair cut in a very Skrillex manner, so we would call them Wub, and in the Wizards reporting system back in the day, you were allowed to register someone under a new DCI number, and their name in the old reporter was actually, and I'm not joking, Wub Cunningham.
Amazing.
Like when you would sit down at like an F&M or at a GP, that was the name you came across. It's like, am I paired against Wub Cunningham? And so the name just stuck. We've called Wub for forever.
That's how I was introduced to them. So we're off to the races. We got a tap lane on 1 for Wub, a Thraben Inspector, and a Clue on turn 1 for Austin. Looks like he has his tokens lined up top. You can see the dice on top of them as such. We've got a Lorien Reveal, cycle for another tap land, and play it for turn 2 for Wub. Turn 2 for Austin, getting in for 1 with the Thraben Inspector. Looks like we're going to run out the core Skyfisher and just bounce the Inspector. We're going to start stacking up this value that's going to be pretty difficult for...
Austin already got all his tokens ready
Yes,
to go.
They're all ready to go.
He just knows. He's like, I'm going to make a bunch of tokens with across this game.
And I imagine this is just another point of matchup discrepancy in that the core Skyfisher and Glen Hawk effects being able to rebuy Thraben Inspector and continue to make more clues and rebuy blood fountains, make more blood tokens, things like that. Like, you are going to just gain incremental value over the course of a long game that can keep up with things like Brainstorm, Ponder, Preordain, etc. Resolving this Brainstorm, we got 2 mana.
Augur of Bolus.
It's
Very
Augur time.
unassuming Augur of Bolus.
We've got at least 2 choices. We're going to take
We knew we were going to hit from the Brainstorm.
From the Brainstorm, yes. Wisely setting up the Brainstorm before casting the Augur Bolas.
Correct.
We got a second Thraben Inspector here. Austin deploys
So
another
let's get in there for
Ancient
2.
Bin, gets in for 2.
Thank you, Powlid, for the follow.
2 more clues. We got 3 clues over here.
So many clues.
Passing back to Wub.
And Austin's got that Omen of the Dead in his hand. So in case that core Skyfisher ever hits the bin, you can pick it right back up.
As one of the loops that this deck can set up.
Correct. It's very powerful, potent.
Omen picks up Skyfisher. Skyfisher picks up Omen. Rinse and repeat. Especially relevant against a deck that's not trying to exile your creatures with things like Journey to Nowhere or any red, like any Magma Spray type effects or Scorching Dragonfire that would like deal damage and get exiled instead.
Correct. And I believe it's a couple Murmuring Mystic in Wub's hand, actually. If we can start getting those fired off with some spells, that's really difficult to actually for Austin to overcome.
It's
like
true.
all those flyers just block all of Austin's flyers forever.
We're going to get a block in on this Thraben Inspector. Come across for 3 damage. I was about to say Austin seems a little flooded, but has all these clue tokens that he can sack at any time.
Yeah, he can at least convert all those lands into other pieces of cardboard.
Exactly. So really not falling far behind, which is one of the draws to this deck. Looks like Wub's going to deploy one of these Murmuring Mystics.
There it is.
Waiting until they have a mana up to interact in some way. Looks like Austin's going to fire off this Cast Down.
We just let this go because we've got the second one.
Sure.
I believe there was a second one in the hand.
We're going to crack one of these clues, pick up another land. Draw a new card for turn. It's a Bajuka Bog.
That is pretty relevant against the Terror deck.
That's pretty good, honestly. We're gonna play that. We're gonna exile the Yard here.
This is gonna be like when Devin was on camera. It's gonna be some 5-mana terrors a lot of the I feel like.
Yes. Very likely. Looks like we're gonna make the same attack here. Block 1, take 3. I think Austin's gonna. Yep, he's gonna crack a clue now. We found a Glint Hawk. Does that change anything? I think you still just leave up the clue here.
Yeah, I like that. the holy number.
It's true.
There's the second Murmuring Mystic.
Second Murmuring Mystic.
Austin does not have a way to remove this currently. He's going to crack the clue to try to find a piece of interaction.
It's another land. So these clues have been fine.
Right, we found the cast down. But if Wub does have this like a dispel, because there are 2 dispels in the deck.
It's true.
If there's a dispel here, this is a pretty huge game.
Let's see. We're gonna start here with the cast down right away, targeting the Mystic. They didn't have it before,
Nope.
and they don't have it this time.
So now I think the game has come to the point where Wub is going to have a very difficult time closing the game because now both of your Murmuring Mystics are gone.
Yes, and those are the only 2 in the deck, period. So it's kind of terrors or bust, and even then, it doesn't quite answer the Skyfisher. And even if you find the answer to Skyfisher, Austin just has this Omen of the Dead. It tried to cast a 5-mana terror.
Are we about to draw 3?
Oh, I think we're Lorien Revealing.
I would believe that is the case.
Okay. Continue to leave up this 1 mana, though, so it leads me to believe that there's maybe a spell
I think
pierce
they're just trying to give themselves an out to do something with
Sure.
it, or represent something here.
So looking at a Ponder.
That's a breath weapon. Doesn't really do a
breath
ton.
weapon is reasonable, but you don't really
Still
want a
doesn't-
breath weapon to Thraben Inspector.
Yeah, so it also doesn't get rid of that core Skyfisher, which is really the biggest card that's a problem
It
for you
is.
right now.
It is.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very difficult game. especially once Tithing Blades start becoming into the mix. Yeah,
This is true.
It starts
This
to
is
become
true.
starts to become a big problem. I found a Scred.
Pass back to Austin here. We're gonna untap.
There's the blade.
There's the Tithing Blade. So we have a 2-turn clock with this Tithing Blade now.
We can also
Play the
just
blade.
we could just flip the blade too.
You could flip the blade. Is there a creature? No, there's no creature artifact. There's no creature in graveyard.
It's creature in play too.
Oh, it is creature in play. That is also how that works.
Yeah, you can get rid of those inspectors.
Oh man, I've been playing Tithing Blade wrong this whole time.
Gotta level.
gonna go
Gotta
for it.
gotta level
Alright.
up. Yep, Austin's gonna go for the flip Tithing Blade.
All right.
It's an aggressive line. Love it.
I
also,
mean,
you can you can just pick it back up next turn with the Core Skyfisher.
It's true. You can.
Or
just do
sorry,
that
the
too.
Glenhawk.
The Glenhawk.
And
absolutely.
replay it and drain again. So like
Absolutely.
you do have like it's really slow, but you do have a loop that that drains for one and kills a creature.
Yes. We'll see. It looks like Wub has
Very
the
expensive. Very
Wub
expensive.
has the Dispel now.
That's 8 mana
Yes.
for a cycle of that.
All right.
We have a Scred here.
Scred the Core Skyfisher.
And-
Finally get that out of here. It might be too little too late,
I
though.
believe that is the case.
So we've got a 4-mana Tolarian Terror. That's fine, says Austin. I can hear his voice. That's fine. Not literally, but I can hear it in my head.
Like we've been around him enough.
Yes. We're going to trigger the Tithing Blade. 3 to 21. And against a deck that has no life gain, this is just
gonna
going to be a
gonna
ticking
put those
clock.
screws in. Yeah,
Wub has 3 more turns at the bare minimum here. So this is looking pretty dire. Wub really needs to find something. What does it look like for Wub to get out of this spot?
I can't conceive of a real way. Again, but with both Murmuring Mystics gone, like Murmuring Mystic is your way to like to
Right.
stop the game plan
Right.
of like the pick up Tithing Blade, do that that kind of nonsense. So yeah, this I don't really see a good way for Wub to get out of it currently.
I wonder what Austin is choosing. Looks like he's exiling the Lorien Revealed. I assumed it was exiling a spell. We're just going to pass back. We can just sit back on this flipped Tithing Blade. What's the name of the flipped side?
Sepulchral something. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly. Let me give it a look. See what we got.
All right, looks like we
Consuming Sepulcher.
Consuming Sepulcher. Excellent. All right, looks like Wub's lining up another terror here.
There is that
Well,
Dispel.
there's two spells.
Ooh,
No,
Azure Fleet Commodore.
Fleet.
Or Admiral,
Admiral,
sorry.
yes. The blue Monarch creature.
We'd introduce the Monarch to the game. Interesting choice.
That's fine, says Austin. You gotta have some way to draw out of this.
Hey, thanks for giving us a spin, Weiler.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Someday we want to have big events like the Europeans have in Italy.
The Pauper getting.
Yeah, we want to have some big events like that.
That would be sweet. Here's the Glenhawk. See what Austin's sides look like.
Austin has so many options.
And we'll just pass the turn.
Yeah, Austin has so many options that are. I find it very exciting. I can't especially with this blade. Like, there's no answer to the blade in the deck.
Right. Like, you could in theory do the loop that you were talking about, where you pick up the Tithing Blade and recast it and then flip it again.
But there's no reason to.
If Wub is sitting on a counterspell, then that's disaster. And then what if you never get those last 2 points across the line?
Mm-hmm.
So better. I think it's better to just leave it in play. Just wait a couple turns.
Oh, those beautiful counter spells, those Ice Age counter spells.
Those don't happen to be your Ice Age
They
counter spells.
would
do
in
they?
fact happen to be my Ice Age counter spells.
I was about to poke at you.
Those are and those lightning bolts. Those are gorgeous.
I was meaning to poke at you because Wub did put this backwards art card into play for the
I
Monarch.
didn't have a Monarch
You
token.
didn't have a Monarch
I do,
token.
but I couldn't find one quickly enough, and I Was so tired last
Tisk,
night
tisk,
when I
tisk.
put these together.
All right, we're gonna. It was late.
It was very late.
It was late. We were working hard getting this all set up for you, y'all watching ahead of time. But looks like Wub is down to 1 off of the upkeep trigger of the Sepulcher.
That's 700 folks playing Pauper. That sounds like a dream.
Pauper-geddon.
That's
It's
great.
beautiful. Cool. Glad to hear the sound is better. We're, it's our first time with a whole bunch of extra setup and stuff. So there's a lot going on back here. So we appreciate y'all's patience as
we got some growing pains.
troubleshoot from round to round a little bit. So thank you for your patience. It looks like Austin is going to win game 1. The flipped Tithing Blade is inevitability of that card is going to get Austin across the finish line. So looking down at sideboards, let's start with Wub here. Wub's looking at 3 Cast into the Fire, 2 Gorilla Shaman, 4 of each Blast, Hydro, and Pyro, and 2 Relic of Progenitus. What do you like here?
Those Cast into the Fires, those Gorilla Shamans, and the Relic of Progenitus, actually.
Excellent. And on Austin's side, it looks like he just showed us 4 cards to the camera. They were.
My guess is that
these and these.
My guess is they're the Thraben Charms and the Nell Spell Bombs.
You're absolutely right. It sounds like those are the 4
But
cards.
to go over Austin's sideboard again, we have
Yes.
3 Divest, 2 Drown in Sorrow, 3 Dust to Dust, 2 Nail Spell Bomb, 1 Shrivel, 2 Thraben Charm, and 2 Trespasser's Curse.
Excellent.
So I assume on Austin's side, you can say we've got the Thraben Charms and the Spell Bombs coming in.
For sure.
Don't really want much else here.
Right, just things to deal with the graveyard. Thraben Charm can also deal with a big terror if you need, just 4 mana.
Thraben Charm can
take it
also
out.
not nag the yard too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine that will be the primary focus here. But
Yeah, so Wub has just really got to be able to get down actually get down a really early terror and force Austin to deal with that in
Yes.
a non-profitable way, and then back that up with the Murmuring Mystic plus a card.
Yes.
Plus a singular card is such a huge game because Austin is trying to fight such a mana hungry deck. Doing all the things that he wants to do inside of a turn to get rid of a Murmuring Mystic can be difficult with the amount of mana he has enough to spend to do that.
Exactly. That's something that you notice when you play these blue decks. Like Murmuring Mystic is a great engine, but if you don't have ways to get it going right off the bat in certain matchups, it just falls flat very quickly. So we'll see if Wub is able to come from behind. I was chatting with the players beforehand before we got set up, and it seems like they're both under the impression that this is probably a very good matchup for Austin, like we were talking. So the players are aware of the situation here, given the dynamics of the matchup.
Yeah, Wub doesn't. I just saw Wub remove that Azure Fleet Admiral. That seems like the correct decision. You're never going to keep the Monarch.
No,
Basically, it's going to be really hard for you to stabilize the board with the Murmuring Mystic tokens and then deploy the thing. Seems really difficult. Say, Austin's just a value pile of removal. So,
what are some other neat moments you've noticed while walking around out in the tournament today?
some cool matchups I've seen. There was I handed out a mono white deck to someone today. They were playing against elves, so I got to watch that a little bit. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
I got to see another black white blade deck from that's Derek's friend, I believe. Playing against our little Scion.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
So that was cool. Just seeing cool matchups. Get to see a bunch of our friends get to play against each other for some cold hard cash.
For sure. Could we grab the matchups for this round? Do you guys have the matchups? Round 5 pairings.
This is the pairings.
Oh yeah.
No, they should be over on the desk there. I want to see if we can work our way through. Looks like we're getting opening hands settled down. We got Tapland and Plains and a bunch of good spells here. Ichor Wellspring,
That's a
Thraben,
great hand from
Spectre,
Austin.
Glint Hawk.
Yeah, it's just a totally fine hand.
All right, tap
Beautiful.
land for what? Cool. Go over that in a little bit here. All right, tap land for Wub, and Austin's going to lead on the Thraben Inspector. Get that clue. Starting the same way we did in the previous game. Looks like Wub found,
picked up a
Austin
lightning
picked up
bolt.
another land here.
Gorilla Shaman's good game
Gorilla
here.
Shaman. I wonder if Wub just tags
We
the
fire.
clue
I think we fire off against the clue because we just don't want the card draw here.
I guess
We
we'll
could also fire off
see.
on a land. Now Austin's lands look kind of awkward too because now that
It's true.
Ancient Den in his hand is just sitting duck.
It's true.
So Austin now Wub gets to fire off and kill the clue. So you deny an extra card there, and then on the following turn,
Looks like we're having some issues with the iPad. All right, we'll get someone out to check the iPad in a second now. But it looks like we are at 20-19 in Austin's favor. Thank you, Austin.
Beautiful.
All right, we're gonna get this fixed in just a second. The Gorilla Shaman is gonna take out the clue, holding up the mana. Is there any thought to running out the Glint Hawk and just bouncing the clue? Since one didn't.
Well, no, because
no,
because then you'd have to return your artifact to your hand because you've removed the clue from play. You'd have to return your bridge.
It's an ETB. It's not a cast.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
Gotcha,
it's an
gotcha.
ETB. So you,
okay, never mind.
This does not work out. It would not
Don't
work
listen
out
to
very
me.
well.
Don't listen to me. I hate Pauper. Remember?
You do hate Pauper, as you sit here and cover it all day.
You know. All right, we've got another non-artifact land.
Yes, we've gotten our lands a little bit underneath ourselves here. So the Gorilla Shaman kind of used its worth on the game so far.
Now it's just a matter of what to deploy.
Also,
Gorilla Shaman
don't make fun of me. I couldn't find enough matching basic snow-covered islands.
I have when I played Pioneer, I had one Ice Age and all the rest call time. Deck lists will be available later. Yes, thank you, Nair Lion. Yes, they'll be available a little bit later. We're gonna work on how to get that out to y'all. So keep an eye out on our socials and all of that jazz, and we will share them. Game night, we'll probably also share them on the game night socials as well.
I see a cast into the fire. That's actually a pretty big game here too. That denies Austin a land.
It's true.
I believe that's cast into the fire. Yeah, cast into the fire does exile an artifact, so it'll exile that bridge if that is what Wub has picked up off that brainstorm.
Lots of good options.
Lots of good options, and a Lorien revealed to make sure that you can shuffle away those bad cards.
We got a Dispel.
You may not even want to. They may all be bangers. Who knows?
So it looks like the Lightning Bolt and...
Thank you, Flint, for the
Cast
follow.
in the fire. Are they keeping the breath weapon? No, Cast in the fire. Something else going on top. Interesting.
Fire off the Lorien revealed here.
All right. Austin giving this some thought. Austin's going to respond.
Respond with a Gorilla Shaman.
Cast down?
Dispel.
All right, that's going to get dispelled. Okay.
Ooh, that's an aggressive dispel there. I love that.
It was the Cast in the fire. It looks like Cast in the fire. I think Breath Weapon? That was my guess.
That was the bottom of the library.
Right, but they were just on top.
Oh, we just moved them. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
I missed that part.
No, you're good.
I was swooning over this dispel.
Yes. All right, back over to Austin. Austin's got the Tithing Blade pulled to the front. May want to just get this gorilla out of the way before deploying any potential targets. Going to attack first, see if Wub is going to throw it in the way for any strange reason. We'll play this Tithing Blade.
Yeah, Tithing Blade's probably gonna eat that Gorilla Shaman. There's no annuls coming from.
There are
from
no
Wubs.
annuls, no Spell Pierce either.
No spell pierce. Just the.
Austin may not know that, but that's, it is what it is. All right, so we got an Ichor Wellspring. We're going to draw a card, pass it on back. Now Austin has a little bit more breathing room of being able to deploy things like these ancient dens, make some more tokens, etc. He's also got an Ephemerate in hand to do some things with later on. What's Wub working with over here? I think we had a Scred.
Kind of hard to see.
Keeping their cards close to their chest.
Ooh, okay.
All right, we've got a Murmuring Mystic now.
Murmuring Mystic. This is gonna end poorly.
Yes, unfortunately.
There's a Skyfisher to bounce the Tithing Blade, replay the Tithing Blade.
There are a lot of ways this could go poorly, it looks like.
Yeah, would agree.
We're going to Glint Hawk, so shortcutting a little bit. Glint Hawk, bounce Tithing Blade, recast Tithing Blade.
There's no free interaction from the Blue-Red Terror side. Austin knows that. So.
Okay, yep. Just making sure they do everything. Everything's above board. Everything's good. Attacking in for 1 with the Thraben Inspector. Wub will fall down to 16. Whatever Cameron got for lunch sure smells good.
It sure does.
Smells saucy.
Saucy.
Oh, that's what it is. It's Chipotle. Now I recognize it with my nose senses. We got another Gorilla Shaman. My nose senses.
You mean your sense of smell?
I said sure. Chipotle. Thank you, Cameron.
Honey chicken. Ponder.
We're gonna fire off a Ponder
I
here.
was going to find another Gorilla Shaman, which is actually pretty good here. Because now you actually can destroy 2 lands, which is huge. Like setting Austin
is
back,
true.
setting Austin back that much mana is a lot. Because they say we just discussed earlier, this deck's very mana hungry.
It's true.
Like it wants to use all of its mana like every single turn of the
single
game.
turn.
This is kind of the death and taxes of the format, if you will.
There you go. There you go. Being played by the Death and Taxes savant himself,
oh my
right?
lord!
little inside joke for y'all.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Wub is going to Island Cycle, get their 5th land. We'll see if they do, in fact, as James has pointed out, if they do want to activate the Gorilla Shaman, because it costs 1XX to destroy a non-creature
yeah,
artifact with mana cost X.
That's why someone referred to it earlier as Mox Monkey.
Mox Monkey.
It just for 1 mana kills any 0 mana
Any
artifact.
0 mana artifact. Or non-creature artifact.
Well, yes, correct.
Yes, but basically the same for our purposes here today.
Yeah, no, only artifact creature in Austin's deck is those refurbished familiars.
Looks like Wub is valuing holding up the counterspell. Austin's going to get in for an attack for 3 here.
Where's a bomb? That's pretty good here.
It's a bomb.
Actually, it's not even that great because there's only. I mean, I guess 5. I guess
There's a
two
handful of
mana,
spells.
2 mana terrors here. In theory,
Wub's thinking. Looks like it is
yeah,
resolved.
it's gonna resolve. I think there's a.
We're gonna
think-
sack it and
Well, I know Wub's holding on to a
pay
counter
black.
spell.
Yeah, that would be my best guess as to why they didn't pop some lands. They may just pop some lands next turn.
Another Thraben Inspector.
There's a Thraben Inspector.
There's a clue to be had.
Wub saying hold.
Well, I wonder if we're considering counterspell on
We're
the
gonna
Inspector.
counterspell the Thraben Inspector.
Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I mean, it is another card.
It
It's
is
another
a card.
random artifact to pick up.
We have Ephemerate though. That's pretty big game here
Ephemerate
too.
Glint Hawk. It's
We're
gonna pick up the Tithing Blade.
replay the blade.
Replay the Tithing Blade. Get rid of
Man.
the Gorilla Shaman.
Man,
and
Austin is locked into this game.
Austin's been locked in all day.
He
He is our
has.
lone 4-0 player, and up a game here in at table 1.
Yeah. So Wub needs to find like a couple pieces of interaction to go along with a Murmuring Mystic now.
Yes. So here's the scred. Here comes the Ephemerate off of Rebound.
We're
Gonna
gonna
pick up
that Ichor
pick up the,
Wellspring
and that's gonna trigger it to draw a card,
and find another Glint Hawk, so we get to keep doing this.
or trigger when it enters, because it's when it enters and dies. That's not enters and leaves, right? It's enters in graveyard for the Ichor Wellspring.
It is enters in graveyard.
All right. Sounds like we have a judge call here.
I would assume it's not for that match.
No,
Oh, is
no,
it for that
no,
match?
it's for our match here.
Okay. Oh, okay. We've just quickly resolved through an Ephemerate without a passing a priority.
Oh,
There's a counter spell in the hand.
oh, I see.
We're gonna counter spell the Ichor Wellspring now.
Okay, gotcha.
We're gonna
All right.
flip this because Wub does have a way to answer this now. At least we do have Cast into the Fire.
We do have some artifact removal now.
We'll at least have something.
All right,
Austin has 1 card left in hand.
1 card.
This game's not over.
No, this game is not over by any means.
No, this game is definitely not over.
The Sepulcher is going to be a ticking time bomb again.
It is. We're gonna bolt this Glint Hawk. Man, if Austin ever finds this, there's a
here's
Tolarian
Terror.
Tear.
All right.
All right, with the clock is on, Austin can just pick up the Tithing Blade and replay the Tithing Blade and kill the Terror and flip it back on the following turn if he so chooses to do such. It's also
Suffocating Fumes.
it's really good against the tokens from
of
the
Murmuring Mystic.
Murmuring Mystic.
Yep. And at the worst case, it cycles for 2.
I may not have packed a Monarch token. I did pack Illusion tokens.
You did? Oh, good. All right, we're going to do just that. Glint Hawk, pick up the Sepulcher, recast Tithing Blade, and ship the turn back. I imagine we'll see a cycle from Austin on end step here.
I would imagine so. The card's not serving a whole lot of purpose currently.
No, we've got a Terror.
Got
All
another
right.
Terror.
That's a good draw here.
We don't have another Glint Hawk.
No,
We're just gonna
well, let's
cycle that. Found a bomb.
A spell bomb. Okay.
One
That's at
turn
least
too-
another-
one
it's
turn
another
too late.
redraw. It's a redraw.
It is a redraw, but it's a little one turn too late on the trying to remove the Terror from even being played.
It's true. All right, we're gonna get in for 2. Put Wub down to 9. This is actually much closer than it looks, I think.
I believe so. These Terrors can just end the game so fast. We saw
They
that
really
in
can.
Devin's,
Oh, trust me, I know.
We
I love
we,
Tolarian Terror.
We saw that earlier in Devin's match where there was like he was like I felt like he was kind of far behind. They just put 2 terrors into play for
Yeah.
5 mana, and then just the game was over.
Yeah,
So-
just got in an attack for 10, had interaction to, looks like,
Austin's
couple
gonna flip the
lands.
blade again.
All right. Get rid of this Glenhawk. Don't get rid of the Skyfisher. There we go.
Skyfisher working too well with that that Omen of the Dead.
Yeah.
Ooh, what do we got here? Augur Bolus? Yeah, there
We
we
got
go.
an Augur.
All right.
Let's see what we got. We got a Scred. We have a land. We have
So
a land.
we're gonna
So
pick up
it
a
looks like,
Scred.
Yep.
That's good. That's fine here.
We're gonna fire it off immediately.
Yeah, just don't even give an opportunity for anything to go wrong here for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
Actually, now the clock is in Wub's favor now.
This is true.
Austin is top deck because it's a land currently in his hand.
Upkeep, trigger the Sepulcher. Is that a Deadly Dispute?
Oh, the Deadly Dispute's pretty good here. You can start just getting rid of your
Yep,
lands
you can.
too.
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
what I think
this
he's
is
gonna do.
another big bonus of playing these artifact lands. Here's Deadly Dispute. Draw 2, make a treasure.
There was a
think
Tithing
that's another- I
Blade,
think that's
but
another blade.
that doesn't work because there's an Augur Bolus in play
There
now.
is. I think you can play untap land, play Tithing Blade, pay 5 and flip. That would get rid of your Skyfisher.
You've got a treasure token too. Yeah. So.
Well, it's craft with creature specifically.
Well, I'm
right?
saying you got the treasure token to flip it.
Oh, sure. So you
If you-
don't.
if you need it
No,
for
he
mana.
he
It
had,
just has
he
the
had
untapped
untapped
land.
Yeah. Oh, card down.
He's just too excited to flip this thing.
I know. Oh no, we have another Glenhawk. Okay, that's right. We did just lose another Glenhawk. I'm paying attention.
All right, well, we'll see what they do for
All right, here we
turn.
go. Time to race.
Oh, that's a
time to
cantrip.
race.
There we go.
Here we go.
It's a ponder.
I see
That's
a
ca-
brainstorm.
It's a Lorien revealed in a counterspell, I believe.
I think there's a brainstorm in there.
There's a bunch of.
There's a land brainstorm, and you have one of the other cards correct. I think for sure. Mountain brainstorm, question mark.
If a card was
Looks-
available in an old border other than the lands, I put it in there.
Yes.
There's a
maybe,
mountain.
Maybe it's counterspell.
It's
Maybe it's just counterspell Lorien. I can't quite tell.
I mean, you probably just take.
Wub likes them in that
They
order.
like, they like the order. Let's see what they got going. Attack for
Right, here
5.
comes an attack.
Which is 12. Well, they're gonna go back up to. Austin's gonna go back up to 14 this turn, and Wub's gonna go down to 6.
Yes. Yeah, this
game is very close.
it's gonna be over
It's a
pretty soon.
So is that a dispute? I think Austin picked up for the turn. Also, I wonder if
I
Wub
think
picked up counterspell.
so.
If Wub picked up counterspell, that's actually really huge this turn. That is what that is, and I think
It is a
if that's-
dispute.
Is that a counterspell? If so, I think
Probably need to
Yep.
fire it off here.
It's a-
It is. You're right. Okay, firing it off. Pass
I think
the
that
turn.
was I like that there
Yeah.
because I think there's a
I think
there's a
this
Lorien
is a draw
reveal-
spell.
This is
Yeah.
a Lorien reveal. To
Yes.
refuel.
Here we go.
Love this.
And you know your first land is untapped mountain, so you can,
and you have the Scred to
yep,
back it
yep,
up
and
too.
now you just drew into Scred. Sick. Let's get him for 5. Austin will fall down to 9.
All right.
Life
6.
totals will now go 11 to 4. 11 to 4.
Yeah, so it's a two turn clock unless Wub finds the remaining copies of Cast into the Fire,
For sure.
assuming that's what they brought.
All right, we're gonna
think they did. I'm
we're
pretty
gonna
sure I saw them.
pass.
Put you to 7, or put you
Or
sorry,
to
put you to 6.
6.
Go back up to 8.
Back up to 8, which also leaves you dead to lightning bolt.
There is a lightning bolt in the hand too. Oh, there's a Glint Hawk.
That's a Glenhawk.
I
That-
wonder what the second card in Wub's hand is.
Let's see. Looks
It's-
like it's Scred and lightning bolt.
Spread and lightning bolt. What
So
does it really do?
this might do it. I think there was a chance that Wub could claw their way back in, but if picking up the Tithing Blade, recasting the Tithing Blade, looks like they have enough mana. Looks like Austin has enough mana. So recast Tithing Blade. You have to sack the Terror, and then you lose that damage. Then you flip this, and you still have.
Also depends. Okay, say there's still another draw step to be had.
There is still another draw step. You could draw
You're gonna use
any
the
of the cast of the
Scred,
fires.
Scred here
Yep, Scred
works.
here.
Well, you need like be able to draw 2 cards for the turn. You cannot cycle the
Cannot
Perilous
cycle
Land.
that, and that will do it.
Wow, that was 1 turn off for Wub on the having a terror play plus being able to bolt.
Yeah. So I think along those lines, it really is just a very, very tough matchup for the blue-red Terrorless to combat. There's just so much incremental value, and you saw these Tithing Blades be very, very strong.
especially when he's able to just pick them up and like commit to them flipping, and then if at any point he needs to pick them back up, he just can pick them back up with any of his Glint Hawks or his Quartz Skyfishers. Man, this deck is just an engine.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah, Austin has been killing it today.
Absolutely crushing. He's been locked in for some time. He's very committed. Many of our friends are very committed to win the trophy this weekend, but Austin especially. And he's putting his money where his mouth is.
He sure did. He said, I think he said earlier in the week, he goes, I have a shelf picked out for this trophy. So I mean, he is very committed to trying to get there this weekend. He's picked a deck he's very comfortable with. And best of luck to him.
Absolutely.
Continuing going forward.
Yep. Before we get Austin in here, Cameron's going to give a little interview here with Austin. We'll get to chat with him again. But I have the pairings for round 5 in front of us as well in our second to last round of Swiss. So we just wanted to run through a couple of the other decks that are doing well. At table 2, we have Michael Foll, who was on coverage last round, playing Jund Broodscale, playing against Jonathan Turner from coverage of round 1, who's on Jund Wildfires. And that just seems like a haymaker
that
match
is haymaker
back and
matchup.
forth. It's just because you have to stop the combo, but also the Wildfire side has the refurbished familiars to kind of get an early edge in the game as well, and then it's just Chrysalis battles back and forth.
Yep, and then it's like who can recur their Chrysalis if the game goes into that direction as well. So it's like the Jund Wildfire deck gets that point, but then you got on the other side, it's like, well, I just have a combo that I can get to at any point that it just ends the game. So there's a very tight rope to walk between the both of them.
Exactly. At table 3, we have Matt Carthel, who's also playing Jund Wildfires against Devin Northcutt on 9 points. It looks like we had 3 3-0-1s because Austin was our only 4-0. So they, based on how some of the 10-pointers had already played each other early in the tournament, it's Austin versus Wub at 12 and 10, Michael Foll versus Jonathan 10 and 9, and then Matt Carthel versus Devin at 10 and 9. Matt Carthel playing Jund Wildfires. Devin we saw on camera earlier playing Blue Red Terror, still doing well in the tournament. Again, that's quite the grind back and forth.
Really, it is.
My initial inkling is to say that the Jund deck is a little favored there, just because I think
which Jund deck?
Well, the Wildfires deck.
Yeah,
Refurbished Familiar is pretty good.
I would agree. Also, you have access to Snuff Out. Like that's huge.
Yes.
Huge game.
Yes.
Like you have Snuff Out for their crystals as well. Like so you can battle through their crystals if you need to,
or through their terrors.
Oh, I'm talking
Northcutt.
about. Oh, I'm looking at the different.
Oh yeah. Well, they were both Wildfires.
I was looking at the Wildfire Jund
for sure.
But yes, on Carthel's side, I think it is in his favor. I mean, he has like the sweeper effect. He's got like the Core Clan Shaman toxin analysis thing. He's also got like the very good access to removal spells and like cast down and Snuff Out and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I would agree. He was pretty favored there.
Awesome. So I think we're ready to go over to the interview with Cameron and Austin.
Yeah, I did turn it on this time. Big surprise. I'm joined by Austin Walker again.
Hey,
congrats
we're
again.
back. We're back.
Stealing all of his screen time from the folks
hey,
out
I'm
there.
trying.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to not be on camera, right?
So I heard a little bit of talk before y'all started. We're playing against in front of our Wub.
Yep.
You know they're on. You know what they're on.
Yep.
They know what you're on.
Yep.
How do you feel about that matchup going into this? Right
It's very good for me.
We
Yeah.
know the classic, the Blade versus the Terror.
Right.
That's what you want to see.
Right. And so you're right. Blade obviously ignores the ward from Terror, which is super important. But more important than that is every one of my cards gets extra value, and they're a deck that wants to 1-for-1. So they're playing the copies of Scred, they're playing Counterspell, they're playing Bolt. Everything that they want to do is 1-for-1 exchanges. Everything that I'm doing is 2-for-1s. You know, my refurbished familiars, Thraben Inspectors. I'm picking stuff up with my 8 flyers. So it's just a lot of extra value, and it's just really hard to keep up with
And
that.
in game 2, we saw a spot where Wub could win with a couple good top decks. Both of you were in top deck mode there.
Yep.
And like a couple lightning bolts, that game could have been theirs.
For sure.
Easily.
Yeah,
And
I was getting pretty nervous at the end of game 2. I figured they probably had the bolt in hand, and they were in a situation where a terror attack plus a bolt in hand is lethal. And I did happen to top deck the Glint Hawk. I thought about the best way to go about that. They had the Scred for the Glint Hawk, but I just had so much mana. Like you go so late that you develop all of your mana.
Draw all these cards of Deadly Spirits.
Exactly. Yeah. And as we've talked about before, having 21 lands in Blade means that you're going to be hitting your land drops.
That's high for a Pauper deck.
Yeah, it's very high for a Pauper deck. But it's important to be able to hit all of your land drops to be able to like keep up in the late game.
To be able to Glint Hawk, bounce blade, play blade, flip blade.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was a play pattern we just saw.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
more important on the matchup, they made a comment that you were locked in today, and I said in the chat, and I'm like, he's been locked in this whole month.
Yes.
You've been playing so much Pauper. What's
Yeah.
your prep? Like, you've been grinding, you've been prepping for this tournament.
Yeah,
That's sick. Like,
yeah.
what's that been look like? Had you like pick the deck right away? You knew you want to play this? Did you mess around with other decks? What was that?
Yeah, so I've been playing variations of Blade for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first deck that I really got into in Pauper.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was all from you. And so I knew that going into this tournament, Mono Blue Fairies is a really, really strong deck. I know that it has a lot of game. I know that it's one of the top decks in the format. I thought maybe I could try playing around with that. I play a lot of Spirits and Pioneer, and so I thought maybe there are some similar play patterns there. But as I've told a bunch of people today, I think the deck is just better than I am, and I wanted to be able to pilot to the best of my ability and not make embarrassing plays and miss stuff. And there are just so many decisions that you have to make.
And props on you for recognizing me, like, hey, Blade's not really like a meta contender right now, but I
Yeah.
have reps under my belt. I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing. I know what my good matchups are. I know how to shirt my bad matchups. Like we saw
Yeah.
at Jun Wildfire. You and I have play tested that game before and stuff,
Yeah.
and I think that helps. It's like I know
Yeah.
my game plan here. So
Yeah,
great for you.
exactly. Yeah, like when we were playing, when we were playtesting Jun Wildfires before, being able to recognize, hey, I need to be very aggressive and just cross my fingers, hope they don't draw a breath weapon,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and so sometimes, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes your best plays are just to cross your fingers and hope they don't have it,
Yep.
because there are matchups where if you just try to go late and play and sandbag your
Yeah,
creatures,
yeah.
you're just gonna get drowned in card advantage.
You need to apply that pressure. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yep, like
So,
you said, sometimes they just can't let them have it.
Yeah, exactly. But this matchup was not one of those.
No.
I can play into Breath Weapon all day long and know that like at the end of the day, I'm still going to be able to get them off of my Tithing Blade flips and all of that, and not really worry too much about it. So
Well, congrats on
Thank you.
locking top 8, I
Yep,
believe.
yep,
So
yep,
big
absolutely.
congrats there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch more of the matches, man.
awesome! Thanks
Best
so
of
much.
luck.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right, we are back. Did you turn the thing?
No.
Thanks, Cameron. Awesome. Yeah, congrats again to Austin. I agree, Gallade. Austin is indeed very sexy.
Would second that.
I would
and
second
third that.
Indeed. Yeah, we are moving right along. We only got one round left in Swiss, so we're going to run a couple of ads here. We've got this one to show you. It's our podcast.
Our podcast.
The Common Ground Podcast. Every Thursday, you can hear us chatting about metagame updates, tournament reports from Magic Online and in real life. Sometimes we play Pauper tournaments instead of covering them.
That's true.
So, we like to talk about stuff. We answer your questions if you email in. We just love doing it. It's a lot of fun. I know we have a lot of listeners in chat just like hanging out. We really appreciate you all being here, and we couldn't do this without your support. So thank you all so much.
And you know what else we couldn't do this out? Game night in Columbia.
That's
like,
right.
They have opened up their store for us today to use. Game night in Columbia. It's your one-stop shop for Magic, Lorcana, Pokemon, Warhammer, board games, anything you can think of to make your nerding heart happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find them online at GameNightTN.com and on all the major socials at GameNightTN.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to be here at Game Night, hanging out, doing
Absolutely
coverage
love
with
it.
you guys, and setting this all up. And they're a great crew. They're a great crew to work with. And I hope that this is just the start
The first
of
of
many
many.
more. So yeah, we're gonna get things. We're gonna get things wrapped up. How are we feeling? How are we feeling with the vibes? I'm feeling good.
It's good. It's been good. It's love to see all this Pauper battle.
Yeah.
It's really nice watching people who have put work in over to make sure they have a good chance of winning. This is really nice. Like having to see some of our friends put in that effort. It's like shows us that they care about what we're doing too. It's like we wanted to make this a success, and we can't do that without the people out there playing. So.
It's very true. And speaking of the people playing for it and playing to do well in this event, next round there will probably be an amount of intentional draws. It's interesting because we have a couple draws already among the top tables. So it'll be interesting to see who can play it out and who can draw in. So we are going to be sure to bring you all a match that has to play for it. That's much more exciting to watch. So we'll keep y'all updated on how all that goes. And we'll probably all be able to show you the actual top 8 bracket before it goes up before the round after next. But we'll have round 6 up for you soon. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Pauper from the Common Ground Cup. Thank you all
Later,
so
everyone.
much.